Well, hello and welcome everyone to our webinar, The Future of Merchandising. My name is Nonal Patel from Unbxd, and this is latest webinar in our series for this year. In our Unbxd webinar series, we talk about very specific topics that help online retailers solve challenges and identify opportunities to grow their business. In this webinar, we'll take you through how you can use data to drive merchandising decisions. We recently spoke on this topic at Retail West, and the overwhelming response we received prompted us to do a special extended version of this topic. For those of you that aren't familiar with Unbxd, here's a little bit about us. Okay. We empower retailers with access to technology and tools to make more money. Using our platform makes marketers and merchandisers' life easy. We've helped small companies grow from 5 million to 6 million run rate in just 1 month. At enterprise level, we have helped conversions grow by 48% in just 2 months. About 400 online merchandisers log in to our platform every single day. And last year, we delivered about 750 million experiences per month. These are some of our customers. As you can see from the enterprise level, we work with Target, Newegg, Ashley Furniture, which is one of the biggest furniture stores in the world. And we have about 1,200 global customers as well. We also work with pure online brands like Express, Back Parts, Deborah Lipton. These are all IR 500, IR 250 level companies. And we also work on a lot of different platforms, essentially making our solution platform agnostic. So today, we'll be talking about the future of e-commerce merchandising and how data is playing a huge role in that. Collecting and analyzing and interpreting data is a big problem retailers have always tried to solve. To give you just an idea of just how important data gathering and computation is to retailers, as recently as 2006, Walmart's data warehouse was considered the largest non-military data warehouse in the world. The real challenge for them was more about finding the computing power to get relevant answers from that data and get it quickly. And we've already come a long way since then with a lot of focus on big data and the tools to help us measure and analyze every part of our business. So what is the relationship merchants have with data? Okay. I hope everybody can still see our screen, okay? Let's look at a recent statistic. According to a 2015 study by Retail Systems Research, 43% of merchandisers state that understanding customer preferences is their biggest challenge. The same study also shows that in 2015, over 51% of merchandisers stated that their biggest business challenge was the need to understand the customer path to purchase. Now, why is this important? Why is it important to invest in this particular area? Because the big daddy of all is doing it. Amazon spends, by our estimate, more than $50 million per year on just product discovery. This includes resources like people, technology, tools, and a lot of technology and tools that they have built in-house that allows them the ability to scale some of these solutions. So what type of technology and tools are we really talking about here? You want to make sure that the technology is real-time and that's easy to use, not your traditional tech that takes months just to deploy changes. It should have the capability to run quick experiments so you can try a lot of ideas. And once you find a successful experiment, you need the back end to scale that to all the customers. So there are some marketers and merchants who are taking on this challenge, and today we will share a few of those examples with you today. These retailers took insights using data and created experiences that created explosive results. As a result, they are now one step closer to understanding the customer preference and their path to purchase. Okay, perfect. So let's start with use case number 1. So this is an enterprise retailer who was analyzing their site search data. Now, they had about 100,000 unique queries that customers were performing on the site each month. The pain point was distributing the queries. They found that 18% of the queries were producing 63% of revenue, your classic Pareto principle. So the other 82% of the queries were generating 37% of your revenue. So they focused on these 18% queries to improve their conversion. Now, the problem is that it turns out 18% is still a very large volume of queries, and the retailer was only able to merchandise less than 1% of the total queries. So you can see here, if you spend per query it took them 2 hours to analyze and merchandise one query. So access to data was not that fast, and the ability to merchandise was not that easy. So about 80 queries is what they were able to analyze and merchandise per month. Now, out of 18,000 queries that they decided to merchandise, that's just 0.0044% of the total queries. So very few queries. And sometimes you have to go to IT to actually deploy these changes. That adds another layer of effort and delay, which resulted in irrelevant and hard-coded search results. So they had to resort to some techniques like placing badges and using redirects. Now, by doing some effort, they were able to eke out some performance, very small improvements. As you can see, the search exit rate just decreased by about 4%, conversion rate increased by a minor 3%, and revenue by about 5%. So how did Unbxd come in and help them? So let's first look at the results. So we can see the dramatic difference in what these merchants were able to deliver. Search exit rate reduced by 79%, conversion rate went up by 60%, and revenue from site search went up by 46%. So how did we do it? So first, we redistributed the queries across a graph based on the average conversion and average search volume. Now, you can see that in the first quadrant, where you have your high impact queries, this is where your volume is higher than average and the conversion is also higher than average. We found that 15% of their queries were in this category. The second category was your high priority queries. This is where the volume was still higher than average, but the conversion was actually less than average. And these are the queries that you really should be focusing on. The second group, your high priority queries, is very important because you're getting a high volume, but the conversions are not as high. The third and the fourth group, which is your medium priority and your low priority queries, because the volume is less than average, and even though the conversion may be higher or less than average, you want the automated system, something like Unbxd, that uses advanced semantic search and machine learning-based user behavior algorithms to improve the performance. So now what we're able to do is help them focus on just these 3% of queries that actually need focusing. So redistributing that same graph, you can now see that the number of queries that need to focus is just 3%, while the revenue that it still impacts is still significantly much larger. Also, using the Unbxd merchandising tool, which is very easy to use, the marketing and merchandising team was now able to very quickly deploy business rules and impact a large number of these queries per month. It took them only 5 minutes to analyze these queries, and they were able to impact about 1,920 queries out of the 3,000 that they should have worked on. Now, somebody would come in and say, well, they still couldn't get to all 3,000, which is fair because one person could only do so much. The idea is that if you're able to impact 65% of those queries that really need attention, and you're able to show the dramatic improvement in conversion, we can then go back to the upper management and say we need more resources so we can cover the 100% of queries that need resolution. And how did we do the merchandising? One way was to promote top sellers or high converting products, as you can see in this example. And second was to promote variety of popular products by using plotting. All right. Use case number 2, take this example. So here's a grocery customer who didn't have any autocomplete for their search box. And they noticed that the time it took for customers to complete their shopping was very high. There was no conversion below 7 minutes. Also, you can see that more time customers had to spend, the conversion rate also dropped. So it was clear that the faster you can get customers to get in and get out, the more they will convert. So what they did was they tried adding a basic autocomplete, some autocomplete with some options to try to get that engagement to be faster. So they saw a conversion rate spike at 5 minutes, and it also added some conversion under 5 minutes. Now this demonstrated that speed was actually very important. The faster the customer can check out, the better the conversion rates are going to be. However, with this rich autocomplete, they were only able to eke out, again, a very small percentage of improvement. So how did Unbxd come in and help them? First of all, the results. So we redesigned the entire solution for them in terms of how a customer was able to get in and get out very quickly. This is what the predictive autocomplete was able to produce. We were able to double the conversion at 8%. And you can see from very little time to the first 10 minutes, most of the customers were getting the conversion right there. Okay. I will try to, some folks are complaining about the audio. Let me see if I can. Hopefully this is better. Okay. All right. So here's what the results were. Based on the predictive autocomplete, we were able to now reduce the search exit rate by 36%, increase the search conversion by 48%, and the revenue from site search increased by 57%. So how did we do it? So the first thing we did, we noticed that since customers were searching, they were going to the search results page and then going to the product detail page. And basically, they were doing that to change the quantity and to add to cart the product. So we brought both of these pieces right into the autocomplete by building an intelligent autocomplete. So you can now see that the customers were able to search for a product. They were able to show the product images, the quantity, the price, the ability to change the quantity, and the ability to add to cart right in the autocomplete. Next, we also added some query suggestions, relevant brands, and categories, just in case the suggestions that we were making were not what they were looking for. We wanted to make it easy for them to be able to complete the search, also get to the brand or the category very quickly. And then the next thing we did was we added personalization. Because in the grocery industry, what we saw the customer behavior is to buy the same product every week or every other week. So if I buy one type of egg, I will see that up top. And if you buy a different type of egg, you will see that up top. So merchants were able to trial and error different ways to make it easy for customers to buy grocery items. Finally, when they settled on this successful solution, using Unbxd, they were able to automate the process and scale the solution very quickly. Okay. Use case number 3. So a fashion retailer found that conversions were dropping for dresses category between summer and fall season. The hypothesis was that all customers who went to dresses category would see the same results, and that was probably not the most optimal experience, especially if those products were not relevant to you. By breaking down the conversion data, they found that the type of products and relevancy had something to do with location. So you can see here where going from Q1 to Q2, or Q2 to Q3, I'm sorry, New York and Chicago were doing okay, but Los Angeles and San Francisco were not doing okay. The conversion actually went down. So what did we do? First of all, we created a geo-targeted based solution that helped them improve conversions. And I'll show you exactly how we did that. So you can see now the experiences where Los Angeles, because of geo-targeting, was able to show much better conversions. Okay. Okay. So how did we do it? So here you can see, using the Unbxd merchandising dashboard, they were able to identify a campaign and run a campaign during the winter months, where they said if a customer is coming from the Los Angeles geography or that metro area, you want to show a specific set of products. If they're coming from New York, you want to show them another specific set of products for the same category page of dresses. So they merchandise by boosting summer dresses for Los Angeles and boosting results for knit dresses in New York for the same period. So now, if a customer coming from New York will see the screen on the right for dresses, and if a customer coming from Los Angeles will see the screen on the left. And based on that, we were able to help them improve the conversions tremendously. Okay. Use case number 4. I hope the audio is okay now. If somebody's still not able to hear, just let us know. Thank you. Okay. So one of the, here a retailer did an analysis to see what the conversion behavior was between repeat versus first-time customers or first-time visitors. Clearly, you can see that the conversions are lower for first-time visitors. Now, this may be typical. It also makes sense because repeat visitors have bought from you in the past and would buy again because of a past positive experience. So how did we help them? Well, first, what we did was we organized the data to find out how much first-time visitors were spending. And you can see first-time visitors spend less. They choose to buy lower ticket items and also items that are probably on sale. So what we suggested is, using the Unbxd dashboard, they create a campaign specifically for first-time visitors where you boost a specific set of products that are probably low-ticket items or products that are on sale. But for repeat customers, when they come to that same page, you want to boost your normal items, your high-ticket items, or your high-margin products. And based on that, you were able to show an 18% increase in the average conversion among first-time visitors. So you now see that same distribution of that same graph, where the dark blue is without the targeted merchandising and the light blue is with the targeted merchandising. And you can see the concentration is much heavier on smaller ticket items. Use case number 5. So, okay. So here, in another case, the customers discovered that search visit rates for mobile were considerably higher than desktop. And based on customer feedback, they realized the issue was due to the fact that customers didn't see a diverse set of results in the first few positions, in the first few product blocks. They simply didn't know that the retailer had a large collection, and so they exited, and as they couldn't see anything that they liked in the first 15, 20 products. Here, we see it's been discovered that Calvin Klein shirts are seeing a higher click-through rate, and there are 2 products that are most often added to cart. So what we noticed was, breaking down the data, you can now see that the mobile conversion rate was much lower as compared to the desktop. So what did we do? What we did was we decided to run another campaign, again using the Unbxd dashboard, where you can target the customers who are coming from a mobile device to your website. So you can now see, comparing the conversion rate before targeting merchandising versus after targeted merchandising, you can see a dramatic improvement in performance. So 41% increase on mobile and 23% increase in average conversion rate across all devices. Because the merchants were now able to define and give customers and expose customers to a lot of variety of products very quickly in the first few folds on a mobile device. And this is what that merchandising dashboard looks like. So you're able to now define a particular campaign on a desktop or a tablet or mobile. And you can provide any kind of merchandising option, like slotting is, I think, the retailer used. but you can also use boosting, you can also use pinning, etc. Use case number 6. So here's an interesting experiment we found. So this is the impact of social media, and we just wanted to share this example. Although Vans is not our customer, we wanted to make sure we explain this in such a way with a real example. So in February 2016, a video named Damn Daniel became a viral sensation. Thanks to this video, there was obviously one clear star besides Daniel, his white Vans. Now, what happens if I go to Vans.com today? I go to the men's shoes category page, and within the first fold, I do not see those authentic white Vans that the video made famous. By the way, these white Vans are being sold for thousands of dollars on eBay, if you can believe that. But they are still available on Vans.com. So we think if you wanted to show a particular type of product, how would you do it? So here the idea is there's two thought processes. One, it would be very enticing to show this authentic white Vans up top, but still there might be another thought process where you don't want to show that because you want to showcase other products, because you don't know how the customer came to the site and why the customer came to the site. So if you look closer though, one of the idea here would be, where is the customer coming from? If the customer is coming from a social media site, if they are coming to the website because of this viral video or some traffic like that, if you can identify that source, you can now make sure that that customer will see those authentic white Vans up top. But for other customers, you might want to show your regular merchandising because now you know for sure that they haven't come through that particular segment. You can take that chance of not showing that particular product. So what's available? You can now do this through the merchandising dashboard if you wanted to, where you can pin this product up top only for those customers who come through a social media channel, and you can define what channels would this be. And those were the 6 use cases we wanted to share today. So what are the key takeaways? It is extremely important for you to be able to deploy changes very quickly, which means in seconds and not days or weeks. So you need tools that allow you to do so. And you can see in these 6 use cases, or at least the 5, where real retailers have actually used Unbxd dashboard to be able to achieve tremendous amounts of results by doing so. Now, you should also have the ability to run a lot of quick experiments, and these experiments are based on data combined with your business experience. So it's not just data that always is helpful. The data will give you an insight, but that insight has to be combined with your business experience to try to come up with a strategy and the experiment. And once you have an approach or an experiment that is very successful, you should be able to scale it. Again, scale it very quickly, not months. Okay, so we'll take some questions. If there are any. I know there was one question on the sound was bad. Okay, so here's a quick question. How does Unbxd handle frequent catalog changes to manage merchandising? Okay, perfect. So we can update a catalog in 2 different ways. One is a full catalog upload, which if you have a very large catalog, we can do that once a day. And to compensate for any incremental changes during the day, we can do a delta update multiple times during the day, say every hour or every 30 minutes. For smaller catalogs, we can do a full catalog update every hour, let's say if that's the frequency you're looking for. Okay, here's a second question. What are the different types of segments that we can use in order to group customers? So currently what we have available is new versus repeat customers, or so first time versus repeat customers. You can also segment customers by geography. So depending on the media demarcation, how brick and mortar retailers use the circular print media segmentation, that's similar to that geography, you can do that. Device, So mobile, tablet, and desktop, and channels like organic search versus PPC, emails versus social media, channels that the customer is coming from, etc. So those are the segments that are available today. The third question is, does the solution allow for a combination of rules or factors to be applied for merchandising? Okay, so here's an example they're giving. Like you discussed, can geo-targeting be combined with device type? Yes, so that is exactly correct. So all the 4 groups that we've provided, so you can decide and say, I want a first-time visitor who is coming through mobile from a geographical location, say Los Angeles, and through social media. I want to run a specific campaign using that configuration. So you can combine, mix and match those types of configurations through our dashboard. That is correct. You can do that. Okay, I see a few more questions. What we will try to do our best is to try to follow up with everyone individually and try to answer your questions. So please don't hesitate if we give you a call or send you an email with the answer, because we are very close to running out of time. And we wanted to make sure we share one more thing. So we are exhibiting at Shop Talk in Las Vegas from May 15th through May 18th. Our booth number is 1224. We highly encourage you to visit us. If you are not attending Shop Talk, we will also encourage you to sign up on unbxd.com/CES, which is a product discovery analysis that our team would do. It's absolutely free. You can sign up for this study. We'll do the analysis, share that with you completely free, so you can see if there's an opportunity for a similar solution like Unbxd for your website. Thank you, everyone, for attending our webinar. We really appreciate it. This webinar, the recording will also be available in case you still couldn't hear us very clearly, and we'll be more than happy to email it to you. Just let us know, drop us a note, just reply to our email where we invited you, and we'll be more than happy to provide this recording to you as well. For those who didn't attend, if they were your friends or anybody who was looking to attend or your colleagues, let them know that we'll be sending them a recording as well. Well, thank you, everyone. Again, we really appreciate the opportunity to present the webinar, and we'll see you guys again at our next webinar or talk to you in between. Thank you. Bye.